Welcome back to Yu Yu Hakusho Anime Review, Part 2B. Yeah, this is unintentional because there are some things I actually forgot to mention in Part 2A, and one small thing I forgot to mention from Part 1. Okay, let's start with the one thing I forgot to mention from Part 1, which is actually in the first season and the second season. Kurama has a weapon. His signature weapon is a rose whip. Basically, it's a whip that has thorns on it. Basically, it's activated through a rose. Yeah, it's a weapon he used frequently in season one, a few times in season 1, and he used it like almost every battle he was in season 2. Plus, also he has this thing called the Death Seed, which is this little seed he throws into his opponents and it kills them. Yep, he's actually killed 2 opponents with a seed. No joke, that's basically what happened with him. And he had to also do it to himself because one of his opponents spilled blood on him, which sealed his spiritual power, and the only way to get it out was by cutting his own skin. Yep, that's basically how that worked. Another thing was that, trying to think his name, Kurmaru, I think his name is. He's the deity who rules the afterlife. I think what was his name here. Let's see. Koenma, I think his name is. Let's see if I can look it up here. Koenma. Yeah, Koenma. Yeah, the guy who's basically a toddler. Yeah, in this season he actually can grow to the size of a teenager. Yeah, it's a form he assumes basically where he looks, well, basically like a guy in his mid-teens. He's got like a cape. He still keeps a pacifier in his mouth, and he's got like a junior tattoo on his forehead because he's the son of King Emma. And he spends like a lot of time in this thing. Though in the manga, they don't show this at all. They make a change. In the manga, throughout the entire Dark Tournament saga, he's always seen in his teenage form. They did add something, a bit of a comedic effect, basically, of what he was up to when he was in his VIP room. He goes back to his toddler form, and he stays there when he goes to his VIP room. Only his associate Ogre sees him like this the whole time. And the first time you see him transform into this, basically comes like kind of drastic, and it's like, okay, just walking. It's like, okay, I got to turn into my other form to get if people take me seriously. So he just transforms into that, and he passes by a sculptor, someone who basically scalps tickets. And he's like, oh, you need a ticket? He says, nah. And he looks at him and is like, okay, I know who you are. You're Lord Kurama. Like, he knows exactly who he is just because of the junior tattoo on his forehead. So, yeah. And he uses this thing a lot. And he get a chance to meet the girls for the first. He get a chance to meet Kazuma's sister and, of course, Keiko. Yeah, I got a chance to meet them for the first time. And you don't see him fight per se, but you do get a chance to see him a lot when he's in his form. In the manga, he pretty much stays his whole form the whole time throughout the entire Dark Tournament saga until he gets back to the spirit world, where he's back to his toddler form. Yep. That's basically what it is with him. Was there anything else I forgot? Oh yes, Keiko, during the final match, basically she went catatonic. Because Yusei basically was getting beat to a pulp, and she was worried. She was in shock to see if he may have actually died, but he didn't. And everybody tried to wake up. They tried yelling at her, shaking her, and Yusei basically thought of the only way possible, slapping her like crazy. And apparently that woke her up from her catatonic state. I'm like, that is completely unnecessary. You could at least kissed her. That could at least woke her up. Kind of similar to how her kiss basically resurrected him. Could have done the same thing, but nope. He had to keep smacking her because she basically repeatedly slapped him over the years, and she got back at him for slapping him for slapping her multiple times. Slapped him hard across the face and the only reason why he was doing this because he had her get out of the stadium because the stadium was being blown up by the owner of team. I completely forgot his name. Let's see here. Let's see. Sako, yeah. The guy who owns the other team. Yeah. Oh, and the nurse, I finally found out her name. I was really worried, like, I finally found out. Her name is Rukia. Ruka. Yeah, she's the one who got bribed by the owner of the team of basically Shinobi to hold the masked fighter, basically Genkai and Hike, basically in a medical tent the whole time because she deems him unfit for combat. Well, in the case of Hike basically gives his arm, Genkai, despite the fact that Kazuma is much worse condition than they are, apparently she wasn't interested in his injuries, she's interested in these two. And apparently she's not really a nurse at all. She's actually somebody who just a demon who just, well, takes bribes. Yeah, and she takes off her nurse attire to reveal she only wears ropes to cover her chest and private area. I'm like, this is your attire. Okay, I get the fact you're a sexy nurse. Fine. Could you at least put on like a shirt? Like a shirt or something? Or I don't know. You could keep the sexy nurse's outfit on. That would have been nice. Could have done something, just not the whole rope thing. I mean, it's fine from someone who's a guy, basically like seeing that. But if you have a female viewer watching this, they probably would not enjoy that at all, unless of course they're a lesbian. Unless of course they think this is hot. I don't know. It's from their perspective. But I'm trying to think there was anything else. Oh yeah, they had two referees. One was a foxlet. It was a woman who looks like she was half human, half fox, and the other one looks like she was half human, half fish. No, seriously, she's like half human, half fish. The fox girl, she was originally referee for the first half of the season, then she got promoted to announcer at the end, and she got replaced with let's see, I have names up here. You have Koto, who is the original announcer, and then you have Jury, who's the replacement one. Jury basically halftime was afraid, and she is, well, not very good at her job, and apparently it's meant she used to be a cocktail waitress prior to being a pretty referee. At least Johto basically knew what she was doing, and she actually didn't like what the committee was doing anyways, and she was more like on their side. Also, during the final bout, the team that basically survived, that was killed by Yamashita's team. Let's see if I can try to find them here, if they're on here anyways. Let's see. Here we go. The Shadow Channelers. I don't think these guys. Let's see here. Yeah, it might have been these guys. Yeah, his name is Yin. Yeah, for some reason they gave him a Australian accent, and the guy is constantly drunk. Yeah. Yeah, he's the one who saves Johto when she's about to be when she's about to be consumed by uh, Togo's, what's his name? Tojiro, yes. But younger Tojiro's his aura, or at least his power. Yeah, I'm glad the fact he did that, and I kind of thought these four really interesting characters. As far as I don't remember if these four ever come back, but if they did, I think they should have, because they were such four interesting characters, and they could have got some character development. I mean, I don't, as far as remember the manga, they never do. Is top of my head, I don't think they do. They may have reappeared for the final arc, but I don't really remember. It's been like a couple weeks since I read it. I don't always remember exactly. Well, because it's been over a week, like a couple weeks since I finished reading the manga, I kind of forgot a lot of the stuff that happened in this will happen for a lot of people when they switch from reading the manga to watching the anime, that they might forget stuff. But some of the stuff I do remember, like the Dark Tournament, so I remember that one pretty fondly because it was interesting story arc throughout the entire manga. And stuff that came before that was very interesting as well. Just stuff after that I didn't thought was that interesting at all. It's just my honest opinion. But the stuff that came after the Dark Tournament was not bad per se. It's just that I kind of forgot. And this is nothing unusual probably for some people who read a lot of manga and they may forget stuff. This is nothing unusual. But like I said with the previous video, it's a fun season. Long. I kind of think that maybe they should have basically done this in a 2-part season, like have like a 2-season thing where they could have like split the season in half. They could have done that. I don't know why they didn't, but they just did it. Oh yeah, and apparently the dub version of this didn't air until 2002, which was 10 years after the show originally aired. Which 2002, I was 14 that year. Yes, I was 14 in 2002, and no, I did not get a chance to watch this show. What anime was I watching at that point? I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh!, not Yu Hakusho. I mean, yes, it has been 11 years since this anime ended. I'm finally watching it. Yep. So, even though when it originated in Japan, I was 4. When it over here, I was 14. And no, I never got a chance to watch this thing. I think it aired on Toonami. But I didn't have satellite back then, so yeah, that was during a period of time I did not have satellite because I went like 4 or 5 years without having satellite at the house. Yeah, my parents had to cut it just for money purposes, and then later on they did get it back. We had Dish Network originally, then we dropped it for a few years. We got it back. We had it for a little while. And now we got DirecTV, which is actually a lot more affordable than Dish Network because Dish Network was charging way too much for us. So we decided to switch up to DirecTV, which is actually a lot more nicer. And plus, also, my dad wanted a better sports package because he's a huge Mets fan, and Dish Network would frequently black out. They would always black out Mets games. The only time Dish Network does black out Mets games is if they're playing the Rays, and you can't. And he does not like the announcers for the Rays because, according to him, the Rays announcers suck. Seriously. They suck. I have never really heard them, but this is just his opinion because he's heard me. They're terrible announcers. He likes the one from Mets better. That's just his opinion. I don't know his opinion because I'm not a really big fan of baseball. My dad's a huge fan of baseball. He's been following since the late 1960s. Yeah, and he's been a Mets fan since 1969, which was the very year that they first won the World Series. So, yeah, he's been following the Mets for almost their entire time they've been around. He's following the Yankees a little bit, but he's more a Mets fan than he is a Yankees fan. I kind of like the Yankees a little bit better because I'm more familiar with the players. And I love bigger names like Derek Jeter, A-Rod. I kind of like these guys, but I'm not a really big baseball fan. I do know who these people are. I don't always follow them like my dad does. Okay? So, that's all I got to say about this one. Stay tuned for possibly tomorrow where I'm going to do part 3. Where I'm going to do season 3 of Yu Yu Hakusho. Where part 3, the third season, is going to be the chapter Black Saga. Okay? But until then, I will see you there.